Today I was speaking with my friend Raymond, a fellow who rides long distances in peloton with his group of avid cyclists. Raymond is still too young to think about buying an electric bike, but some members of his club, who see their health diminishing, have bought an electric bike instead of quitting and leaving the club. However, that creates a problem, and this video is about the solution. The problem occurs when the pedal assist e-bikes mingle with the regular bikes on the road. What they've found is that the e-bikes have difficulty keeping a steady distance from the ones who are using pedal power only. In trying to keep a constant gap between themselves and the bike ahead, they end up continually having to speed up and slow down and speed up and slow down. Why is that, you might ask? It's because they're using an electric bike that has the wrong type of assistance. There are two systems of assistance, Cadence Sensing and Torque Sensing. Let's start with Cadence Sensing, the most common one and the one that causes the problem. With Cadence Sensing, the bicycle's controller senses whether the pedals are turning or not. Rather than having the motor switching on with full power when it learns that the pedals are turning, the power of the motor is divided into smaller chunks, providing several incremental levels of assistance. Typically, electric bikes provide 4 or 5 levels of power, although some provide more or less. Each level of assist puts out a fixed amount of power. For example, level 1 might provide 100 watts of power, level 2 200 watts, level 3 300 watts, and so on. The problem happens when the speed of the bike ahead at a particular time requires your bike to put out 250 watts to maintain a steady distance from him. Then, level 2 wouldn't be enough, and level 3 would be too much. So what the rider ends up doing is to use level 3 intermittently, forcing him or her to pedal a bit and ease off, then pedal a bit again and then ease off, continually, causing the bike to constantly change its distance from the bike ahead. The cyclist behind the electric bike gets frustrated because he too has to constantly adjust his speed. There are two solutions for this, a passable one and an excellent one. The passable solution relies on a device available in North America but not in Europe because of their strict laws. It's the throttle. It can be a hand grip throttle like on a motorcycle, or a thumb throttle, a small lever activated by the thumb. With a throttle, when you're following another bike, you can accurately adjust your speed to keep a constant distance. But there is a downside to that. When I did the 210-kilometer Train du Nord linear path with my friend Jean-François, he was riding a regular road bike and I was riding my Pedigo city commuter equipped with a throttle. It wouldn't have been possible for me to lead because with an electric bike you don't feel the upgrades or the headwinds and you don't slow down as much as you would with a regular bike. This would make it too difficult for Jean-François to keep up with me. Consequently, the electric bike has to follow the non-electric bike. Yes, with the throttle I was able to control my speed accurately to stay with Jean-François, but I found it tiring because it takes a lot of concentration and after 5 days my wrist was sore for several days. So the throttle works for maintaining a constant gap between the bicycles, but it does cause fatigue. It's okay for short rides of 20 or 30 kilometers, but for long rides that last a whole day, it's not ideal. Now for the excellent solution, the ideal solution. The excellent solution requires torque sensing pedal assistance. It isn't whether or not the pedals are turning, but how much torque you're applying to the pedals. That is how much weight you're putting on, how hard you're turning the pedals. There are disadvantages of torque sensing, and I've talked about that in previous videos, but the advantage is that it gives you a lot of control over your speed. In fact, riding a bike with torque sensing feels exactly like riding a regular bike, except that suddenly you feel much stronger. With torque sensing, if you have to keep within inches of the bike ahead, you can, and just as accurately as with a regular bike. Now, where can you buy a bike with torque sensing? The most popular torque sensing system is the one sold by Bosch. The company licenses its motor, controller, battery, and display to third-party bicycle manufacturers. Many bicycle brands offer torque sensing, like the Luna, the Torque One, the Rise, Juice's e-bikes, Vituvia, Bigtrix, and others. If you get an e-bike with torque sensing technology, there's no reason why you couldn't ride with the strong cyclists on their long outings. But one inescapable reality is that you couldn't join a group of competition cyclists who ride more than 32 kilometers an hour or 20 miles an hour, because all electric bikes in Canada and the US have to be locked so they can't exceed that speed. I've been talking about groups, but a group could be just you and one other person. Even with a group of two, torque sensing would be an advantage for keeping a constant distance from the other bike if you're regularly going on long rides. That's all I can think of for now. If you have a different perspective on this or any ideas you'd like to share, leave a comment. If you like my channel, you can help keep it alive by liking this video and by subscribing. For more information about e-bikes and bicycle campers, visit my website www.robertberrio.com. There you will also find information about my book, Sailor Without a Boat, how I sailed on other people's yachts and lived to tell about it. Thank you for your interest.